The gate had not opened for an unscheduled crosser in 11 years, and I intended to keep that record intact for one more night. Seal at last light, hold until dawn muster, no exceptions written into the order because no one had ever needed one. The Corvith line ran 40 kilometres of scorched red flat, our side fortified in layered ferrocrete. There's lost past the heat shimmer. Nothing crossed that gap without my say. So when the watch corporal said a single human was walking the flat toward us, on foot, no vehicle, no visible weapon, I assumed equipment failure before anything else. I climbed the wall myself to see it. She was small against that much red ground, dressed in something dust-coloured and unremarkable, carrying a satchel the way you'd carry groceries.
No escort.
No chatter on any band we monitored. She walked like the heat wasn't worth acknowledging, like the gate wasn't worth hurrying for, like she had already decided how this would go and saw no reason to perform urgency she didn't feel. I gave the order anyone would give. Warning shot, wide of her path, enough noise to make the point without making a corpse before we understood what we were looking at. She didn't flinch. She didn't slow. She adjusted the satchel strap and kept the same pace, like the round had been weather. That told me the rifle had missed by more than I'd intended, and I corrected for wind that wasn't there. I called up the response squad. 4 armoured bodies took the forward bunker inside 90 seconds. Weapons live. She was 400 metres out. 300. The squad leader requested authorization to engage. I held it. 11 years without an exception, and I wasn't manufacturing one over a single unarmed walker on a dusk shift. I had her stop instead, demanded identification over the perimeter address system, voice amplified loud enough to rattle the wire. She stopped. That, at least, matched expectation. Designation and authorization, I said, the words I'd said to smugglers, deserters, and the 1 or 2 genuine spies who'd tried that gap before her. You have no clearance logged for this crossing. Her voice came back small over the open channel, unbothered, like she was reading off a form she'd filled out 100 times before. I have a delivery for the medical post on your side. Documentation's in the satchel. I can hand it through the gate or you can come get it. Your call. A delivery. I had 4 rifles trained on a delivery. I told the squad leader to hold position, telling myself the calm in her voice was performance, the kind every desperate crosser tried once they realized the wire wasn't bluffing. Performance had a tremor in it eventually. Hers didn't. I sent 2 of the squad forward to intercept at 200 meters. Weapons la ready, escort and detain. She let them flank her, and then she should have raised her hands, gone still, let them take the satchel and walk her in under guard. Instead she opened the satchel herself, slow, both hands visible, and held up a sealed data chip and a stack of printouts like she was showing customs at a checkpoint that had never tried to kill her. Transit manifest, she said. Medical resupply, authorized under the relief accord your command signed 8 months ago. I'm not asking permission to exist on this flat. I'm telling you what's in the bag. The relief accord. I knew the document. Command had signed it and never expected anyone to invoke it on my gate, on the one stretch of border I'd never seen breached. I should have felt relief. Documentation meant this wasn't an incursion, meant the math was simple. Verify, escort, log, done. Instead the floor of my certainty tilted, because the 2 soldiers flanking her had stopped pointing rifles at her chest and started looking at me for an order I didn't have ready. She didn't wait for one. She closed the satchel, slung it back over her shoulder, and resumed walking toward the gate at the exact pace she'd started with. Like the rifles, the warning shot, and the 11-year record had all been a mildly inconvenient weather pattern she'd already walked through on the way here. I gave the only order that still made sense. Hold the gate. Verify the chip at the checkpoint terminal before any seal breaks. The terminal verified it in 4 seconds. Authorized. Signed. Routine, by every standard my own command had written into law. She reached the gate while my corporal was still staring at the readout, and she didn't wait for us to finish being surprised before she knocked on the ferrocrete with one knuckle, the way you'd knock on a neighbor's door at a reasonable hour. I can wait if you need to call it in, she said. But the post's expecting antibiotics by morning, and I'd rather not still be standing on this flat when the temperature drops. I opened the gate myself. 11 years, and I was the one who broke the record, and I broke it because the woman on the other side of it had never once treated the 11 years as a wall. She treated it as paperwork, and paperwork was the one thing my garrison had never been built to stop. She walked through without looking back at the rifles, without a word for the squad that had flanked her, without anything resembling triumph, because as far as she was concerned, there had been nothing here to win. Just a delivery, and a gate that was always going to open for someone who refused to be afraid of it. I sealed it behind her and stood there a long time after, the squad silent at my back, the flat empty and red, and understood for the first time in 11 years that the wire had never been the thing keeping her kind out. It had only ever been the thing none of us had yet seen one of them decide to walk past.